Matteo. So we'll have him online. He's just trying to connect. Meanwhile, what I can do, I can give you introduction of Mr. Matteo in some details. Okay. All right. He's actually a digital marketing consultant, a presentation coach, and an entrepreneur. His experience spans between working for multinational companies. One of them is Warner Brothers, teaching at university, Link Campus, and consulting for digital unicorns, for example, Netflix. He has been running a website since 1993 and a blog since 2001, which means he's working since a long time. In 2011, he founded La Fabrica della Realtà, an innovation lab focusing on digital marketing for culture and entertainment. As a student of storytelling, he dived deep into the process of story creation, writing, and script writing. His passion for effective communication led him to create seminars and workshops on productivity, presentation skills, and public speaking. Now, over the years, he has nurtured innovative startup projects focusing on entertainment, on digital identity, on education and training. Uh, Although innovate ideas can take any form, his latest product is a solid wood standing desk. All right.
Greetings, hello from Berlin, Germany. My name is Matteo Sassese, and I'm just hoping that all of you are safe and are doing well. Certainly, we are still in the midst of very
Mr.
complicated times since March.
I believe while you were sharing the screen, we were able to hear two double sound. So if you can fix it, please.
Greetings, hello from Berlin, Germany. My name is Matteo Sassese, and I'm just hoping that all of you are safe and are doing well. Certainly, we are still in the midst of very complicated times since March, and I'm sure it's really challenging for all of you to spend so much time online. And actually, this summit invites you to spend even some more time online. And I'm very, very, very appreciative of the fact that you are investing the time together with me. To begin my presentation, actually, I have a question for you. And this question is, what is going on in your world in terms of virtual presentations and using the medium of video for education? What are your struggles? What are the difficulties that you are encountering? Are you finding it technically difficult? Are you finding difficulties in the engagement? Are you finding it that maybe the pedagogical outcomes are not being effectively reached because of the medium? Have you realized? Have you played with this new video format? I would like to interact with you throughout this short talk, and I'll try to make it as little as possible a talk and as much as possible a conversation with you. And I think through Zoom that now we start to feel at home, right, in this Zoom interface. Well, through Zoom, most probably we can use the chat feature, and it would be really cool to send public messages so that everybody can read what everybody else is saying. This is something that I find really, really interesting. And I don't know if we have technical limitations, but also if you want to switch on your camera, I think this is one of the powers of Zoom, is to like, I'm inviting you into my home. Actually, welcome to my living room, and this is my desk of my home office in my living room. And I find it very poetic and very beautiful to have the possibility also to have a peek in your office, in your home office, in your living room, or wherever you might be. So if there aren't any technical limitations, I also invite you, maybe progressively during this talk, switch on the camera sharing on Zoom, and just start also sharing this mood that you can definitely express through your body language. You know, if you're just sitting like this, or are you leaning forward, or are you leaning back, or are you on a mobile device so everything is slanted? I'll be really curious to interact with you also in this sense. But let me go ahead. Because we have an interesting program for you today. Because I want to tell you a few things that I think are really important for educators on how Zoom changed our way, or needs to change our way of thinking. And in order to do that, I just want to have a very, very simple role for you for the next 50 minutes. And that is, I want to be your virtual presentation coach. I want to be here for you to provide as much value as possible in terms of giving you tips and tricks and solutions to all your virtual presentation needs. I've been doing this online presentations for quite a long time. I always had clients that were in other countries or other cities, so I've been doing it a lot. And at some point in 2014, I also decided to make it a formal engagement. And I created a Presentation Hero Academy. And I'm very proud to say that over 1,000 students went through the Academy up until now, and have taken one of my presentation and storytelling courses and learned how to structure, deliver, and design a presentation. But today, the scope is very specific, it's very tactical. I want to give you stuff that you can apply from today, from this minute, okay? And to do that, I decided to just narrow it down as much as possible to 11 keys. 11 keys that open 11 locks that can really give you a great potential in virtual presentations. But as I said in the beginning, for me, the most important thing is that we're using a live medium. I'm here live. It's 2:43 p.m. in Berlin, but I'm live with you. I can change my content based on your input. I could even come here with no slides at all and just improvise based on your questions. This live element is something that I find it's always underutilized, and this is why I invite you to write your comments, write simple interactions, use the chat, or use your camera just to show how you are feeling just through your own body language. This is a great possibility that is given us by this technology, and I think not to take advantage of it would be really, really crucial. I see some question already coming in, and I'm just gonna pick them up. Some of the students lack because of confidence in virtual presentation. What can we do for that? Sure. Especially if I have to think of myself when I was a student, I certainly lacked the confidence in university and in the classroom before, and so it's really hard to get to a point of confidence online, because there's all the layers to gain confidence in your life. Plus, there's this online layer. I think that today's presentation will provide some clues and some keys also for the students, But let me get back to that at the end of this presentation, so that we can really discuss this not only from the point of view of the teaching staff, but from the point of view of the students. We have 50 minutes together, let's say 45 at this point, and I have these 11 secrets for you. It won't take us long, so we can actually have lots of space for an open Q&A at the end, and I want to keep as much time for this open Q&A at the end. So let's dive in to secret number 1. And secret number 1 is very simply to start every virtual presentation, every conference, every activity by interacting with your audience. If you have this chance, use it. And how would you do that? Very simply, by asking a question. And I'm giving you here this template. You can use this phrase, what do you struggle with when it comes to molecular biology? What do you struggle with when it comes to astrophysics? And so on and so forth. So you can use it for whatever subject you have. Obviously, you can be more specific, and you can ask just very random questions like, how many hours did you spend today on Zoom? Actually, I would like to know the answer to that question. How many hours did you spend on Zoom today up until now? What's your Zoom count for the day? These are all just questions that might be simple icebreakers or even already conversation starters. But we have this interactive medium. It's not just a television, okay? We have all these tools to go back and forth. I find it fantastic. On Zoom, you have all of these emoji reactions that you can also use. So I can send you a heart. I can make it a party, and so on. Let's use all of these tools that we have. Let's sort of integrate them into our narrative and into our virtual presentations, because they're super powerful and they can really, really help. Now, secret number 2. And secret number 2 is super important because we've focused this shift to video conferencing on the word video. But actually, what matters the most from the point of view of human perception is audio. And so my second biggest tip is to allow for variance in the pace and the style of your delivery. Let's run immediately into an example. Let's pull up the boring slide, all right? This is a boring slide from an actual company page of an actual important multinational company. Let's make this experiment a little bit worse. So now you can still see me. Now I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna hide behind the slide. And now I'm gonna make it even worse. I'm gonna read it. Security in the cloud remains challenged by complexity and shadow IT. Security Today released new data examining the top challenges and threats impacting cloud security, indicating that ease and speed. You get my point, right? This is not the way to do it. It doesn't work. The moment I start reading, the instant I start reading, I start losing you. The moment I start reading, I become less of a human and more of a drone. So it doesn't work. The other thing that doesn't work is to get rid of this. Get rid of this human face. This is what keeps us connected. Our humanity keeps us connected, especially in a time of difficulty like we are right now. To get rid of this in order to show more of this, it's totally wrong. Now, that's not the only thing you can do with your voice. For instance, if you want, you could speed up. You can start speaking really quickly because it's super urgent. Then the other thing you can definitely do is hush. Actually, you can hush during a webinar. You can hush during a virtual presentation. And people will hear you as well. You can allow all the variance you want. For instance, if you have a really important point, a point you really want to get across, You can use silence. You can pause dramatically, and people will ask, oh my God, my presentation, my connection is not working. Zoom is having an error again. Instead, it's actually a moment where you get everybody's attention through silence. So whenever you need it, you can use silence for drama. But now your voice is really important. But how does your voice get to your students? How does your voice get to the other part? Well, that requires us to dig into the third and the fourth secret. The third secret is to enhance your voice, specifically with a USB microphone. Now, I'm going to show you what I am using right now. So this is a very, very simple USB microphone. It has a stand like this. I can also show it to you like this. And it has a cable, okay? This cable is a cable that goes directly into the USB of my computer. It doesn't go into the jack. The jack is this one, just to be very clear. The jack is this guy over here, and we know it from the Walkman if we were very old, or the iPod if we are just a little bit younger, all right? Now, what happens with this? Interference, scratching noises, the cable flexes, you can sort of hear it. USB, it either works or it doesn't work. It's all digital. Plus, it's physically separated from your computer. Your computer has hard drives, it has fans, it has moving parts. It always will generate some noise. This one is separate. It's in another place. So it's not picking up on those noises. It's closer to you, and it does a really good job at transmitting your voice. Now, not everybody can use this. Not everybody can use this because not everybody can be tethered to a fixed position. If I start moving away, I need to start shouting because otherwise you won't hear me, right? So with this sort of setup, I'm tethered to this exact position. Now, secret number 4. You can use one of these. You could get a lapel microphone that is wireless. So this works through Bluetooth. And basically how I'm dressed right now, it's pretty snazzy because it sort of disappears. So once I put it here, yeah, you're gonna see it for a second that there's this sort of shape there, but it's gonna sort of disappear. And also this has a really neat trick that you can connect it also to a small earpiece. So if you wanna use that for getting feedback. Now, why use a digital lapel microphone? Because it's so much better than wearing this. When I'm wearing this, I'm being isolated from you. It looks like I'm going to listen to my music, right? That's not what this one does. This one is more professional. It looks much, much smarter. It also reduces the background noise. It's only capturing noise that is coming, from me, from this direction. But the beauty of it is it allows me to move around. So if I were using this, I could move around the room. I could go towards my whiteboard, sketch something on the whiteboard, come back here, etc., and you would still hear me really, really well. Now, I have a question that requires you to use the chat, and I would like to know from you, how important have you felt in the last months that audio was for your virtual presentations, for your webinars, for your lessons? 1 would be on the lower end of the scale, it's not really important, and 10 would be it's really, really important, it's really, really up there. Please let me know in the chat. I'm going to tell you this anecdote. When I started working, I invested my first paycheck in a super audio system for my living room. And it wasn't just a general audio system. It was one of those systems that would connect to your television, and you had a Dolby surround, okay? And I still had a really, really crappy television, right? I was really, I had the cheapest television possible. But then I would invite friends to watch movies and to use this sound system. And after a while, people started saying, you know, we should watch only movies at Matteo's because he has such a good television. And I thought to myself, I don't have a good television. I just have good audio. And I realized that audio makes all the difference. So you could have a really fuzzy image, but as long as you have good audio, you are going to enjoy a show, a movie, a conference call, a lesson, so much more. Now let me see your interaction. Yeah, it's a 10. It's definitely a 10. And it's a 10 for everybody. It's universally true that the moment that the connection goes bad, video is not that important. I could lose video, I could lose the slides and everything, as long as you don't lose my voice as a guide for going forward in this presentation. But audio is super important, but let's not forget video, and let's dive into video for secret number 5. Now, secret number 5 is to place your laptop camera just at a right angle. So most of us right now are not working with a standalone PCs. We're working with laptops. And obviously, when you are sitting at your desk, you're going to have your laptop on the desk, and then the screen is going to be sort of tilted this way, okay? Now, what is that effect in terms of framing for a webinar? And to really highlight this, let me even switch, to this full view. What is this effect in terms of the frame that you're giving out during your webinar? Let's explore this together. Now, if you place your laptop way, way, way low, it means that your lid is sort of tilted all the way like this. The first consequence is that you're going to look down. And if you start looking down, your eyes goes like this. Your eyes go a little bit closed. And it looks like you're either a little bit tired or a little bit cross. You can see it here in this picture that I've taken. And I look so serious in that picture because I need to look down to you. It doesn't work. Now, this is the position that most everybody has, right? That is, the laptop is still on the on your desk, but the screen is really tilted way still too high. And you know how you can see it? You're looking at my ceiling. You shouldn't be looking at my ceiling. You should be looking at my wall. And my wall should be 90 degrees behind me. But then let's see what happens if I lift and I lift and I lift this laptop all the way up. And what happens is that then I have to tilt the screen and the webcam in this direction. What happens again? That is sort of a decent perspective. It's a bit strange because you can see the flooring, but yeah, okay. The real problem is with the eyes. If I am way, way down below and I need to look up, I have this puppy look because I need to make my eyes bigger in order to look up at the camera. Who has this look in our lives? The puppy eyes. The puppies, because they are on the floor and they are looking up, wanting us to, pet, cuddle, food. So if you want to give a professional look, what you need is to get the camera that you have on the laptop right at eye level. So the camera, I'm looking at it exactly in my eyes. As you can see that I kind of bump perfectly into the camera from my eyes. At that point, I can have the most natural expression to you. You only see my background in terms of the back wall, which is also decorated, right? I haven't decorated my ceiling because I didn't know that we would go into lockdown and we would have to broadcast our ceilings. Ceilings are boring, all right? Walls are more interesting. There's more art and stuff and plans, and you can see a television, and if I get out of the way, there's my sofas and so on. So, and maybe you have a bookshelf behind or a desk, a table, etc. That's much more interesting to show. So the first thing that I want you to do in terms of video is really to focus on this camera position. It really changes everything. That's not it. We have to continue working on video with secret number 6 of 11. We're more than halfway there. This is a point that is very, very dear to my heart. I'm standing right now, and I suggest that you deliver your presentations while standing. And I'm guessing this is something that you already did in the classroom, right? Standing, pacing, walking around. Why did you do that in the classroom? You did it because you could fill up your lungs more completely than in sitting. But even more important than that, because maybe you have a microphone, you don't need to shout. You can deliver with much more energy. Your body can be really energized if you're standing. This is not new, and it's not new to the educational sector. Maria Montessori in Italy was positing that the educational outcomes of children were enhanced if movement and cognition went hand in hand. This is why the Montessori classroom has so many different spaces where the children are autonomous and they can find their own tools, and then they can decide where to work. But there's nobody that's going to tell them, go back to your desk, because nobody has a desk. This idea that cognition and movement go hand in hand is something that we forget from, let's say, the age of 11, 12, all the way to the venerable age that I have, looking at my 50s now. And it's crazy. Even if we are not children, this is still true. There is a positive correlation between movement and cognition. And if we move our bodies, we will use more of our brains. And so to renounce this in the name of chairs, well, I don't get it. That's not for me. So my top tip for you is get your desk, get a box on your desk, place the laptop on that box, and deliver the presentation like this. I'm not saying you have to go out and splurge on a sit, stand, desk and motorized and everything. Just experiment with what you have. At the beginning, my first standing desk was a coffee table over a table. And that was it. A coffee table over a table and a box for my keyword. And that was enough for me. Right now, I went for the full-on motorized standing desk, but only after years and years of already knowing how that works. Now, let's go back strictly to video for secret number 7. Secret number 7 is to have a strong source of light, but also a soft source of light from behind the camera. What do I mean? What is a soft light? How strong should it be? How could it be behind the camera? Let's look through examples, and let's start by negative examples. Right now, I can show you what happens if I switch off all of the lights. There is a little bit of natural light coming from one side and sort of hitting me from that side, but basically I have shade all over my face. Not particularly good. The laptop camera that I'm using right now is the laptop camera that is in most Apple computers and is considered by the industry to be one of the worst cameras on computers anywhere. All right, so it's not anything particularly good, and it tries to compensate for low light by sort of boosting everything up, and the results are simply terrible. So what I do, no light, let's switch on a very, very powerful light. And I switch on a powerful light and I place it to one side. And as you can see, I'm sort of divided in two. One side completely dark, the other side completely illuminated, but also highlights. And this light bounces over the skin and it creates this highlights. It doesn't work. It's hard light. This is the effect of hard light. Now, I have a soft light, and is the light that I use in the room. Will it help? No, because my soft light is there to illuminate the room. It is not there to illuminate somebody who's speaking from one side of the room to the other side of the planet. And so I'm making sure that the back of my head is perfectly illuminated, okay? How useful is that for you? Not useful at all. Then I remembered that I have this light system that changes color. Also, disaster. Doesn't help at all. It doesn't work. Finally, I place my light behind the camera. I point it towards in my direction, but I make it soft. How do you make a light soft? You simply bounce it on a surface. So first, let me show you before and after. So this is the beginning, same camera, same settings. That is the end. Same camera, same setting. Completely different point of view. And this is how you achieve it. So right now, I have a curtain. It's a white curtain that is rolled down, and I have this light that is pointing towards this curtain, okay? And so you have the same effect that you would have through a piece of paper like this. If you place a piece of paper like this, you're sort of, the piece of paper is getting the light and then refracting it back to you with a less harshness. And through this, you can really change your appearance. But why would you change your appearance? To look more professional, to look more at ease, to be fine with having your camera on, to be comfortable having your camera on. I also want you to look beautiful. Looking aesthetically beautiful is anyway more pleasing, but this is also a confidence booster that you can give yourself, and you can give also your viewers and your listeners, that they can look their best also on a cheap, crappy camera like the one that is in your computer. I could do the whole webinar and the whole presentation with this camera. Now, this camera is amazing. I'll teach you everything of how to use this camera, because you have a camera just like this one in your pocket. You don't know it yet, but I decided to use this setup just to show you that you don't need anything. You already have everything. You just need the right amount and the right type of light to have a professional look on camera without any professional camera. Now, secret number 8, and this is something that Zoom allows you to do, and I wish that Zoom didn't, and that is changing backgrounds. Remember, your background, ta-da, what we're seeing here, this is part of my message, all right? This here is part of my brand, right? So what do I want in my background? Well, there's many possibilities. You can have a sort of artistic, minimalistic backgrounds like this. This is not bad. It's not terribly bad. However, it's gimmicky. Like, for instance, there's a camera there. I'm not a photographer, and I don't own any wind-up clock like that. So, not too convincing. Then maybe this is the first result that you get on Google if you search for Zoom background. And honestly, if this was the look of my home office or my office, I would love to be there, but this is not how my office looks like. And I'm guessing this is also not how your office looks like. But let's talk about offices then. So this is what you get if you Google Zoom background office. What is that? I've never been in an office like that. I don't even think that offices like that actually exist, right? Who has a budget of 100,000 euros or dollars to furnish an office, and who has the budget for a lease in downtown with this sort of skyscraper view? I don't know anybody like that. Then there's beautiful backgrounds. You know, I'd really love to have a photo shoot done with that sort of background. I would use those photos on my website. They would look good on social media. On Zoom? Are you sure? Then there's this possibility to be anywhere, travel around the world, show the Colosseum, the Taj Mahal, Stonehenge. Don't do it. It's not serious, it's not professional, and after the first time you see it, it's really not fun anymore. And please, please don't zoom from space. Unless you are talking about stars, or you have a class about Star Trek, but otherwise it's really not serious, not professional, it doesn't add to your message, and it's sort of just plain distracting and useless. Right, secret number 9. We're almost done. I think we're right on time. Secret number 9 is something that I was just showing you. And secret number 9 is that actually in your pocket, you have a very, very powerful camera in the form of your phone or your laptop. And so since even a Hollywood star doesn't hold the same exact close-up for hours and hours and hours, you might have the opportunity to use this super professional camera that you already have, and that is to connect your phone or your tablet with a cable to your computer. Now, let me show you how this looks in actuality, and let me switch to this camera. So this is one of the cameras that is on my phone, and this phone is right now is just connected to the computer with the cable. As simple as that. You can do this already by connecting your device to Zoom and choosing to share the screen through Zoom with your camera. Now, I also have a special app here. Let me show it to you. I have this special app that makes this super clean, right? So here you don't see anything. If I was in a camera, you would see the shutter button over here and some settings over here. So this is making it even more polished, but you don't need to go to this extreme. And the same thing is valid for older phones, Android or iOS, iPads as well, tablets of any sort. You can connect those and you can make those your input if you're not satisfied with your camera, or for instance, if you really want to play and do stuff with your devices. We will come back to this right at the end. I'm going to show you, for instance, what happens if you forgot your slides, what you can do if you completely forgot your slides.